All right. Let's see. There we are. We are live. Today is March. What is this date today? Because I already forgot. The 23rd, 2021. HeartlandDefenders.com. Heartland Defenders on YouTube. And some of you may have noticed we might have a little existence left on Facebook again. Well, I don't know.
Fucking clue.
So let's see. I gotta get rid of these, and there they are.
There we are.
Ooh, why are you guys so small? Let me find a better one. Let's see. There we go. You're a little
better?
better. There we go.
There we go.
I had the single person button hit, not everybody else. So, oh goodness. So anyway, oh, what a week! What a week! And it's already only Tuesday.
I know. Tell me about it.
God. So, we're going to do our 15 minutes. I don't even have it pulled up, and I did, and I'm going to bump it up
And go.
here, and there we go.
Hey, you're burning time, bud. We're down to fucking 13 minutes right now.
So as for the group, we did the gun show last week.
Yep.
Sunday, I guess, was a bit better than Saturday due to our placement. But that's
A little bit.
Just a little bit. I don't know. Did anybody stop to talk to you about say anything about the show or no on Sunday? Because I know they didn't on Saturday. I was there.
No. But actually, I was talking to this. Guy. He's a student at Hiram College. He's actually doing kind of I guess it's a paper / report on kind of the current situation, the current, patriot movement after November or January 6th kind of type of thing.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of asking different people in different groups, kind of a lot of things, what patriot means to them. He was asking me today about if there's like any particular literature we all, read or look to. And I was like, no.
Are you looking for like the prepper Bible or?
Yeah, I think he was wondering if, I think he was wondering almost like, is it kind of like almost like a religion per se? Do we have a Bible that we follow kind of thing?
I would venture to say that there should be a book, not so much a book, but there should be one thing that all of us say we read.
That what I mentioned.
Be, the Constitution.
That was pretty much the only one I said, if they're really kind of a constitutional group / militia / patriot movement, I'm like, if they haven't read the Constitution, probably a problem.
Right. Yeah. For that kind of question, that's kind of the go-to on my mind.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's what, and he knows, I mean, he's talked to a couple different people, and he realizes that it's kind of, and this is kind of group related, basically. He said he understands that that's what he's kind of getting, even though we're all kind of on the same journey-ish. And we had kind of that discussion today about patriot, and patriot movement, because I do that a lot, and he noticed it when him and I were talking. That I was kind of like,
patriot.
Yeah, doing it in quotes, so to speak. And I told him, I'm like, his name's Quinn, real good guy, by the way. I was like, well, go on. I said, walk the campus, ask 10 people what patriot means to that. Initial reaction. You hear the word patriot. What's it mean? And I said, and then talk to 10 of us, spur of the moment, right now answer. I said, and I bet you get probably, if you go 10 on the campus and 10 there, not only are they probably, all over the place, they're probably none of them the same. I said, so that's why
you get 20 different answers.
Yeah. And I said, I told him that's kind of why when people say patriot movement, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit, because it's like, Nah, shouldn't it really be? And we've talked about it gazillion
We
times.
the people.
Yeah, got it. You got it.
I'm pretty fucking sure that when those guys, a few hundred years ago were like, hey, let's tell England to fuck off and let's do our own thing. I'm pretty sure that first set of words they said, we the people.
Mhm.
I've read it a couple times and it still says the same thing every time I read it.
I haven't figured it. I mean, why we one, are we really in this discussion point right now? Because I'm walking rabbit hole edges.
Stay away from the rabbit holes for now.
Okay,
That's in a couple of segments.
Okay.
Yeah, because actually the end of my government segment is definitely going to lead us right into the hole. So,
I am patiently waiting.
yes, we will go there.
So for last week, I did tell everybody to bring your pocket knife or your camp knife or camp knives. I brought camp knives. I forgot, and you're the one that wrote the list.
No. I can't find. I had my my little one. I can't find my little one.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand. Jamie brought so many knives, and I just brought this one. I feel like Crocodile Dundee over here.
So
like,
everybody,
a knife?
yeah. So everybody has their pocket knife. Doesn't matter the shape of the blade.
Yeah. I got
That's my Spyderco. Here's
this
Jane's.
is my little Benchmade.
Little Benchmade for Jane.
Little saw.
Then I do have this one.
The
Is that a carrier? Nice.
Oh yeah.
I have
never
never figured out. Hold that up again, Cosper. Hold that up again. The hilt on that. I have never figured out the desire. I see people all the time that are like, "Oh my god, I gotta get this."
That terrifies me a little bit.
And the this and the that. I just
no. I've never. I've never held it like this and it's weird too because the design. I mean, this is clearly a guard.
Right.
So why in the world you'd ever like? Oh no, let me put one finger by the blade.
Yeah,
instead.
that terrifies the crap out of me. I have one similar to that doesn't have that on it.
Is it for chopping? Because I mean, if you watch any chef,
so
if you watch any chef stuff, they'll tell
that's
you.
Why I got this one. If you can see the thickness, I definitely use this one to baton.
Okay.
It's definitely a thicker blade. So I don't
know.
know.
If you're batoning, you're not sticking your fingers on it like that anyway.
Yeah, no. You're not sticking it here either. That's why
There's
can't
my
figure
batoner right there.
And I never,
it's fancy.
This is the only thing that I can think of when you hold it like this. It does draw your finger in away from the blade.
Still, though, I see that how close that is.
But I ain't doing it. But that's not a knife that I would hold back.
No, and this isn't really. I mean, it's not really a fighting knife. I mean, I could clunk someone over the head with it, I guess, but it's not really a fighting knife.
There's a lot. But you got to admit, there's a lot of knives out there, especially when you go to Amazon or you go to, I don't even want to say like Outdoor Edge. I think Outdoor Edge is one of the more underrated knife companies, in my opinion.
I don't know if I have any.
I don't.
Outdoor Edge is it's a lower cost.
Okay.
But most all their items are lifetime guaranteed. If not all of their items are lifetime guaranteed. And I've not seen anybody who says they've got a bad one and it didn't get replaced, or they damaged it that didn't get replaced. It's kind of like totally not sponsors by any stretch of the imagination. Trust me, if we were
but we could be.
Yeah, we could be.
They could be.
We're not opposed to it.
But like, I don't know if anybody. I changed my job, so these aren't that important anymore. But the groove rings, the rubber rings, they're no bullshit. Literally, that is the title of it. No bullshit, lifetime warranty. You take a picture of the damage, and they'll send you a new one.
Nice.
Every time. Yeah. And I think Outdoor Edge is the same way with knives. I've got a couple of them. I know a lot of my kids have gotten a couple of them for Christmas. We went to a lot of outdoor shows. and that they usually are selling them there.
See, I don't see too many
when
brands
it
on knives.
when it comes
at the
to
shows.
knives, though, like if you go on Google or you go on Amazon and just search for like tactical knife or
good Lord.
EDC knife or whatever.
Yeah, if you have 10 days.
Well, the list that pops up, the top ones, the high star ones are the ones that are like just fucking weird.
Yeah,
There
are.
like I don't like this kind of blade as a carry.
Which one?
I don't like this blade, the serrated. Now, I love Kershaw. I love their things. Most of them come with that serrated spot to them. I don't like it because
I've never been a fan.
it
gets
has
dull.
its purpose though,
and then it's a pain in the ass to sharp. So I
you
always
have to realize it has its purpose.
Yeah. So I like my straight blade knives. I like the blade to be perfectly straight. It's easier to sharpen because I mean you get some of this curved crap. Oh, that's a little curved. That's not much, but her straight blade where there we go. It's a little bit curved.
See, now I have a hard time keeping an edge on that one.
Yes, Gerber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've sharpened this thing, and it's not too bad, but it could be sharper, and I'll get it sharp, and then like 2 days later, it's like...
Yeah, and I'm starting to wonder if that metal on that one, that it got really cheesy.
Yeah.
But what steel do they use on it?
I don't even know if it's stamped. Hang on.
I don't know.
No,
Just like I'm not looking forward to even
stamped.
attempting to... I'm not even looking forward to attempting to sharpen this thing.
Is that a Klein?
No, believe it or not, you know what this is?
Milwaukee.
Okay. Yeah. I've got a Klein knife like that, but the blade is actually replaceable. So So my Klein knife, it's a lineman knife. So the blade is curved like that.
Yep.
But it's the attachment point for the blade, it's just a pull pin. You pull the pin back, take the blade out, you can replace it with either a straight blade or the curved blade. So you can buy two different blades and interchange.
Yeah, well, see, I bought the Milwaukee. I was looking for something to use at work because I kept carrying my Benchmade to work. And every time I dropped that and couldn't find it, I'm freaking out. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get the $20 knife.
That's one of the cheapest knives on the market is Benchmade. You know.
Yeah.
Diamond dozen. You just drop that
that's
shit anywhere. Don't worry about it.
Jane gives me crap because the knife I carry is a Spyderco, which not quite as expensive as Benchmade, but it's up there.
Oh yeah, it is.
But I like this knife so much. I don't know. It fits in my pocket well. Everything about when I use it, it's just. It's very easy to use, so that's why I carry that straight bladed. This one here,
right?
I love this thing.
Yeah,
this is my second one. I lost one. I don't know. I've never found it. It's either in a car or.
Here's something I want to bring up in the carrying, the use of, and all that. Cosper, you've done flooring for years.
Yeah,
Jeremy,
let's just call it years.
We'll just go with years. I mean, I could definitely use the plural of decades, but Jeremy, you're more of an IT office guy.
Yes.
And for years, I was an outdoor, lineman working on the outside of everything, outside houses, outside yards, all that stuff. And I just transitioned into an office role, right? Today they brought in boxes from the mailroom and it was like, oh, I need to find scissors. And I reached in my pocket and I pulled out a knife and flipped it open and I'm like, gotcha. And opened it up. It amazes me. When I was in high school, I went through auto mechanics and agriculture in high school. And when I was in high school, it was the time when knives and, gun racks in the back of the back of the trucks were gone after Columbine. Knives were nowhere to be. You couldn't have knives.
Couldn't even have a wallet chain, let alone a knife.
Right. That was the time I was in the high school. But it was still said, my auto mechanics teacher was like, you can't carry a knife in school, but have a knife in your toolbox. So we had locked toolboxes in the auto shop. So in our toolboxes, locked in them, were our pocket knives. because you learn very quickly in everything. You need a knife. I mean, everybody's heard the joke, and if you haven't heard the joke, General Mattis saying you should always carry a knife just in case there's cheesecake and you need to slit somebody's throat. Right? That was Mad Dog Mattis' statement. I'm just reflecting it. But it's kind of true. I mean, if you're an outdoors person, you need a knife. If you're an office person, there's shit that comes around that you need a knife.
Right. But it's funny being in the office when you talk about office people, because when, like you said, when I pull out a knife or something in the office, some people go, hoo, hoo. Or like at my last job, when somebody accidentally left a pocket knife in one of the conference rooms. I mean, it was sitting just on the table by itself, but they treated it like it was going to kill somebody. Like they were carrying it around like this, and I'm like, it's a pocket knife. What the hell? And of course, they came to me first. Is that yours?
Well, it is the cousin to the scary black guns.
Well,
so
it
might get up and kill
these
someone.
black-handled, assault knives.
That's right. See.
Now remember, anything over 3 inches is classified an assault knife.
I know we're getting close, but I have to. You didn't get to see it, Jeremy.
I've got 2 minutes.
Okay, I did get one more. I guess it's a camping tool, but this is my gun show purchase.
Ah, yes, you got it. Good God.
I did get it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's she's pretty.
That's one of those things. That's one of those things you're just that's like having the AR platform that you spent $10,000 to buy every little fancy part you could find and go, now I'm the best shooter. That's just a knife guy going, look, I have a really nice knife.
And then,
yes,
here's my cook knife.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is.
That's our camp kitchen knife. It cuts everything.
Now, I'm just going to say that does more than just camp kitchening.
I've heard.
Wow.
Oh, look at the time. Look at the time.
Don't fuck with me
Look
while I'm
at the time.
cooking.
Next subject.
Don't fuck with me when I'm cooking and not when I'm chopping or batoning wood.
Yes.
A lot of people in the group actually have this, the charade, the SCH F9.
I ain't a part of it. I ain't the part of the everybody crowd. It's just not me.
Well, one of them was given away.
I'm kind of bad. I buy knives on a whim. I definitely go, ooh, shiny.
Well, I want one of these.
I got you beat, bud. I'm not lying. I've got you beat. If we do this again, because we have to reiterate things time and time over. Every once in a while, we regurgitate something we already did. If we redo this again, remind me a little bit earlier about it, and I'll bring down the collection that I have, and my entire collection are from subscription boxes.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
This one was actually the way it started in the group. There's our 15 minutes.
If you don't know why we're laughing, you should be part of this group.
I thought you guys would get a kick out of that being our
that is excellent.
Our timer, but
that is good.
One of these was given away in the zone meeting.
Yeah,
one of these was given away at the zone meeting, and I won it. I actually won both of them that night, and I ended up giving it away, not giving it a chance. And when I gave it away to that person, they were using it, and I was like, "Oh shit! Now I got to go buy 2 of them," and I did.
Nice.
So, which I learned you're not supposed. It's bad luck to give a knife away. I've learned you're supposed to trade it.
Really?
So, yeah, it's bad.
I've
bad juju to the friendship.
Heard he who opened it, and we'll have to change that term. They who opened it.
There you go.
Are they who close it? I've always heard that. Yeah. So if I open my knife and hand it to you,
you shouldn't close it.
Don't close my knife. Hand it back to me. I'll close it because if you close it, the next time I open it, I'm getting cut.
I was taught a few months back. Actually, it was almost a year now. Actually, that you don't trade a knife or you don't give a knife away for free. You trade it for something because it's bad juju on the friendship or relationship with the person that you are.
Really?
Yes. Have you ever heard that?
I know, but I do know a few people now. I'm going to try it on.
If you give me a knife tomorrow at dinner, I'm gonna be
What I'm
pissed.
saying is, there's three of us in this show right now. Let me quick look at the comments. Nobody else in there has ever heard of that. Jeremy, I think that's somebody blowing smoke up your ass.
No,
No,
it could be, it could be a generational thing. It could be, you know what? And let's
it may
be
be where
honest.
you're raised too.
Yeah, and we're not like, I wouldn't say although we probably have a nice collection, I wouldn't say we're knife guys
No,
per se.
no.
I mean,
So-
shit, you just heard me say every knife I get, for the most part, comes out of a subscription box. So
Right.
Okay.
it's the fancy thing that comes in the box.
So hang on,
Right.
I lost our list here. Hang on here.
All right. Moving on.
We're not. Jeremy doesn't know where we're going.
I do.
Learning the Constitution and resources for following the government.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Well, so one of the resources we were giving away this weekend,
yes.
which I have here
Constitution?
somewhere.
Somewhere.
Mine's a little different than the ones we were giving away this weekend,
Yes.
but there's that one.
Always a good source to
Yes.
start.
Yep.
Well, and
I'm
not
sorry.
only so,
I don't carry mine in my pocket right now.
Mine's
because
just
I
in my
actually
drawer
carry
right
it in
here.
my EDC bag. My bad.
so Brett said to sell it for a penny.
What are we
So
selling?
see, he's got a whole new different one, but moving on. Well, no, and so and I don't know how many people, and I gotta see, I think they make some pocket ones, or at least a smaller size ones. Something else that I think probably a lot of people haven't read, and I am definitely a whole lot, and I'm no scholar in the Constitution by any means. I've read a lot, I've forgot a lot too. But another one, and I want to start reading it over again. And I've read it a few times, and there's a lot I haven't absorbed, are the Federalist Papers. If you haven't read the Federalist Papers, you've read the Constitution, you're like, cool. You got to read the Federalist Papers too. It helps bring it all together. So if you haven't done that at some point,
So what you're saying in that is read the Constitution and know what they finalized on. Read the Federalist Papers to figure out why they decided to final on that.
yeah, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information in there. And again, I'm very I am a rookie in the Federalist Papers. Because I've read it a couple of times, and the language at times will get much like the Constitution, when you read it, you're kind of like, you're tongue tied, like, why did people talk like this? But the Federalist Papers, and sometimes too, it takes you a few times to read. I've had to go back and read things over and over again, and kind of like, okay, you almost have to get a different mindset. Like, okay, in that time, got it. I get it. But it's worth that. That's another thing worth reading. And beyond all that, now that we've got this, this internet thing, there are some great resources out there for the Constitution. There's the National Institute for the Constitutional Studies. There's Hillsdale College, which I've posted a couple things the last couple of days on our Facebook page. Hillsdale College actually does, they do a lot of stuff from what?
Facebook page?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. We have, it's very informational, very, very vanilla.
So is that one of the resources you could possibly use to
yes, we're going to be
understanding?
So I resource wise, every day we are doing on the page, I am doing in the morning, I am doing a crap, and I don't think I did it yet tonight. No, I'll get it on after the show. So every morning, sometime between noon and morning and noon, you'll get a constitutional post of some kind, whether it be a lecture, a website to check out, could be a blog, it could be just about anything. And then sometime between noon and before I go to bed, you will get a prepping, a homesteading, something survivalist, something in that genre in the evening. So you'll get those 2 posts every day on our new Facebook page, in addition to some other little things I'm going to throw here and there, but you will get those 2 posts guaranteed every day.
Huh.
So, and that's, and I'm going to do our events on there, our public events. I got to add the boot camp, survivalist boot camp. And then I did add the Berea gun show this weekend. So, yours is Hilliard?
Yeah.
Hilliard. I'll add the Hilliard show after our show tonight on there too. So it's going to be strictly information, guys. It's not going to be, I am not getting crazy with that page. It is definitely not going to get overly political. If there are constitutional issues, I'm going to post.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think you can get away from politics anywhere else on the planet. I mean,
no. And when we get into the next segment, how close are we? Because it's burned a hole.
For like 4 minutes.
It's burned a hole in my pocket to get to current events, and then leading into the last segment is going to get crazy. But anyways, so again, if you follow Hillsdale College or the National Institute for the Constitution Studies, they also have a gazillion links that'll probably take you to anything and everything that I could explain to you. I am going to start posting some of those links that I use more often than not, though, on the page, and following our government, which I don't care who you are, who you vote for, you should know what's going on. And I think we've touched on a little bit, but Congress.gov is a great one because you can follow anything and everything. And if you just want to follow a topic, you want to type in guns, you can find the bills that mention guns. Now, they might not always be guns per se. It just might be mentioned in the bill somewhere. It could be, Nerf guns, and it'll come up on there. So you've got to weed through it. But if you have a particular subject, if it's, gay marriage, if it's constitutional law, you can type that in there, and boom, you'll get all the laws and bills currently, in the House or Senate, and you can follow all those. I also recommend sign in on there, because then as you're going through those, and it'll be a gazillion of them, ones that you're particularly interested in, you want to know where they're going, what's being said, what committee they're in, you can set the alerts and you'll get an email. I got several emails today that I got to check out. Something changed on House Bill 1 today that I got to check out, and I don't know what it is yet. But
if you don't know what House Bill 1 is,
you should
look it up.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, and again, it's no matter who you voted for or whatever you do politically, you should know. I mean, I don't even think most people realize. And the reason I say pick a topic, if you're going to go through all the bills, I think you're currently at about 4,000 pieces of legislation. That might take a minute.
What's that mean? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody's got time for that. I'd love to.
In life, ain't nobody got time for that.
I would love to, but so I usually type in a particular search, and yeah, guns. Second, because guns usually mean Second Amendment. So obviously our group being a constitutional group, the amendments are important to us. And yeah, the Second Amendment's a big one for us. So I follow a lot of the bills pertaining to the Second Amendment, which we'll get into in the next segment, by the way. But yeah, so also another one real quick too before we get out of this segment. And I found this one recently myself, C-SPAN. C-SPAN is pretty cool in the fact that they basically, for the most part, you just watch what's going on. Committees. Yeah,
Would you
go
say
ahead.
it's like behind the scenes of the circus?
Somewhat, yeah. I would say it's I mean, it's almost like it's almost like getting into the into the House and the Senate without having to break in.
Oh,
Sorry, did I say that?
Shh.
allegedly.
You're not supposed to say that out loud. Oh.
Allegedly.
but no, C-SPAN is interesting because there's not a lot of politics on the website itself. There's some editorial things here and there, but for the most part, you can actually just watch the monkeys in the zoo.
What?
I mean, if you watch, and I implore you, yes, it can be some of the most boring thing to watch, but once in your life, take an hour, and you can go back and watch ones. Maybe what is a particular bill you're interested in that you're following on Congress.gov. Just listen to the people that represent us. Listen to them on the floor, on the Senate floor, on the House floor. Listen to these people, and you'll get a sense of why some of us walk around a lot of times with shirts that say "We the people are pissed off," because some of that stuff will make your head explode.
Well, but is it? I'm switching to the current events. Is it
Good move.
Is it just me, or do we all see the fact that people don't pay attention? You got Sloppy Joe up there. I mean, just doing the dumbest shit, recorded and on live TV, and people just go, "Oh, okay." Because are they just willfully ignorant to the fact, or two, not watching it at all?
I think they're more willing to just agree with whatever they're being told, because my newsfeed yesterday, when current event of I'm sure where you're going to is about start of the shooting in Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my newsfeed yesterday was all about white supremacists and oh my god, the guy was white and blah 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 blah. And then they release his identity today of who the guy actually is. And if you haven't looked or seen, my newsfeed has been stupid quiet today, other than we need to get guns under control and get some of these gun legislations passed. It stopped being white supremacists and, hate and all this other stuff.
Well, it didn't stop. It didn't stop. It's what keywords can we throw at these people as fast as possible to where that's all they know.
Well, it just changed. It changed from. You're right. It changed from the importance of the first agenda was, ooh, white guy shot people, and then it was like, oh no, bad guns.
Right. Don't let. And then my favorite thing was though this morning when they initially started announcing his name, all the people that were screaming about hate and white supremacy and it had to be about hate groups and all this other stuff, it turned into, let's talk about the gunman. Let's not say his name.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
let's
wait
not
a
give
minute.
him glory.
So let's not talk about his name when it's not good for you and your gun agenda, but let's talk about him all day long if it happened to be a, cis white male, for example.
Oh, and wait, hold on. I better get my knives back as soon as the show. Wow. Oh, anyways.
Hey, I even gave her credit and she wasn't around for it.
Jacob, did you want to finish your thought? Because I have something that's going to make this even crazier.
Lead me to the well so that I can drink.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and I was having a conversation with someone today, and they brought up the 7 quote unquote mass shootings that have happened in I guess since since Biden has taken office.
Right.
Has anybody looked up those 7 mass shootings by any chance?
No.
Haven't been a little busy.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to talk politics anymore.
Okay.
Or-
So now, do you know under the federal, basically kind of a combination of FBI, Homeland Security, you take the alphabets. Do you know when they put together their stats, what technically classifies a mass shooting?
Isn't it 3 or more?
It's 4 or more.
4 or more? Okay.
or
Four or more.
Okay.
4 or more 4 or more fatalities.
Is it fatalities?
Hold
Yes.
for a sec. Hold for a sec. So
It's fatalities.
if a spouse walks in the house and takes out the significant other and 3 children, then themselves, is that a mass shooting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, yes and no.
Oh boy.
So it should be. So in the quote unquote mass shooting that all the media, and by the way, ABC was kind enough to put together the list for the AP press, and make sure everybody got it. However, if you go back and read it,
Oh no.
a vast majority of them were 0 fatalities.
What?
Mass shootings with 0 fatalities?
With 0 fatalities.
But
How
wait,
the fuck is that a thing?
Well, let's look at that even further, shall we? So
We're digging deeper. I like
yes.
this.
So the
the
7.
hole's just getting deeper.
Oh, it's gonna get deeper. So with these 7 shootings, obviously, can anybody guess who they assume and/or have confirmed is the shooter?
Cis white male of the right-leaning side.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Now, with that in mind, so if you go look at Chicago homicide, there's a site that tracks Chicago homicides.
Okay.
In the last 365 days,
Do we really need an entire year?
yes, yeah. So they actually, if you go there, they keep their stats up to date to the current year. So if you
Okay.
go tomorrow, it'll be from yesterday till last year that day.
Got
This site, that's how they keep track. Now you can break it down, but I just looked at, out of curiosity's sake, I looked at current.
You know
stats.
what curiosity does.
Oh yeah, and it's going to.
Okay.
So in a vast majority of these, so there have been slightly over 700 deaths. Now, mind you, this is the Chicago area only, not the state, not
Chicago.
just
Little-
Chicago
little-
area.
Little
Yeah.
spot.
And now, mind you, it's a little of these suburbs, kind of, I would say, when people hear Columbus,
Right.
the little same kind of thing that they use.
Okay.
Over 600 of these have been young black males in, areas where there are no guns allowed, by the way. So
Well, let's not
pretty
talk
much
about
every
that.
pretty much every one of these shootings was what happened with someone with an illegal gun. But the more surprising fact, and quite frankly, if I was a young black person in America today, do you know how many of those 600 deaths, mind you, some of them were as many as 40 in one weekend? Do you know how many of those have been classified as mass shootings?
None.
0.
I wonder why.
0.
Well, I mean, but see, here's the funny thing. Anytime anything comes up or anything happens with Chicago, for example, and Chicago's a great example of a gun-free zone where it's still just chaos, and it's a perfect example of criminals don't care about the law. They'll do whatever the hell they want.
Absolutely.
Anytime you bring it up or talk about it, it's like it's almost taboo to talk about it. Like,
Right.
well, but that's Chicago. Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's talk.
That's just Chicago.
Let's talk about DC. Let's talk about New York,
Right.
where it's the same setup.
Right,
Well,
and I don't even care,
it's
and I
just-
don't even care, and I'm not even turning this. It's not even a political thing. I don't even care. I don't even particularly care about the rhetoric about.
It's just a societal thing.
Well, I think yeah, but not only that. I don't think that. I don't know how much better Chicago would be if it was Democrat run or Republican run. I don't know how much that would make a difference. Would maybe there be, would there maybe be more legally armed citizens? There might be. Would it
Well, let me
change
ask you this
that?
question.
I don't know if it'd change anything. So
Let me
I don't
ask you
even
this
care
question.
really about that part of it, and that's not what I'm getting into. What concerns me is the fact that why every time, and this is going to be, I take this how you want to take it. I don't care.
Let me throw a question at you.
Okay.
With these shootings from the Chicago year counter, how many of those shootings were 4 or more?
I counted at least 13.
Okay, so 13 of those that were 4 or more by all other alphabet soup agencies were not classified as mass shootings.
That's what I got from from looking at their site. Yes.
From looking at their site. Okay,
Yes.
that was the clarification.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Now,
because if it's man versus if it's 1v1, then it's not a mass shooting.
right.
But if it's 1 versus 5, 6, 7, 8, by their standards, it would be a mass shooting. Why isn't it reported as mass shooting?
Well, and that's that was the disturbing part on to me, because my conversation with this other person started over the fact that he was basically like, oh look, another white mass shooter who gets walked out alive. And I was like, I don't think. I'm like, let's stop and let's take a time out and talk about that. And we did. But they did shoot him. He came out bloody. I mean, they did shoot the guy, by the way. But beyond that, why, again, my concern is, and this is where I'm going with this, with people, you saying people are ignorant. Why?
Willfully.
Yeah. Why are we?
Proper term.
Why is it
here.
okay?
Willfully ignorant.
Yeah. Why is it not considered a mass shooting? And or if it is a mass shooting, why is it not publicized? Why because to me this is where I would be kind of pissed off as someone black in America. To me, you're saying that those to me, this is me. This is not a group. This is me. You're saying those people that got shot in that poor black neighborhood don't matter as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's what when you by not calling it a mass shooting, by not calling it a problem, by not bringing it to the the World Wide Web and news, because you don't see CNN in Chicago every weekend, and they could be because
but they're not going to go there because they know the threat there.
Well, fair.
That's called front assessment. Man. We know this shit.
But
they'll go to Iraq when there's a war.
No, they won't.
Well, and not only that,
no.
You know damn well. Every one of them, every news agency in the world jumped on planes and went to Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
You're goddamn right they did.
But why aren't they in Chicago every weekend?
Why
when it
aren't they
hits
in Chicago?
30, 40 killed. I mean, it doesn't even got to be 30, 40 in a weekend.
We as a society have allowed the lamestream media to dictate to us what is important and what is not. And their classification of the world right now is that shit's not important. We need you to believe
Doesn't fit the agenda.
this.
Well, exactly, and that's what I was going to say. Was it's not that it's not important. I think it's more of it doesn't fit what they're trying to feed you, which is don't look over here because that proves us wrong when we say we need to have gun.
I'm not saying it's not important to us as individuals, as us as Americans and we the people. I'm saying it's not important to the media
Right.
to tell us what's actually going on. it's up to the individuals who and you can hate me if you want, but if you're this kind of person that your sit down conversation consists of somebody using a word like liberty or freedom, or I wouldn't do that because I like my liberties.
Yeah,
and your immediate response is you're too political. I classify people like that as willfully ignorant because you've made the decision to idly sit by, figuratively or literally, and allow whatever happened around you and hope that it's good for you.
Yeah, well, and I want to touch, Jane. There is no white media. I mean that's because right now every media, I don't care who, what, where they are, they're in Chicago because they thought that a white guy with a big black gun,
they're in Colorado,
a white guy with a big black gun killed people, and boy, that sells ads, that sells newspapers, that sells Google time, that sells everything, and that's why they're there. And I think this is important. I think it's what's even more important with this discrepancy in how things are shown to us worldwide and over the media is imagine if the entire country saw what was going on in cities like Detroit and Chicago and DC, not the DC they put on TV with the pretty flags and buildings, the real DC. Philadelphia. Imagine how people would have maybe felt in this country, even maybe some more people like us, when Black Lives Matter came out and started doing what they're doing. Imagine if we saw what was going. 7 out of the 700 people in the last year that were shot and killed in gun violence in Detroit, over 600, almost 622 of them were black.
Now we need to change the subject.
Yeah. Oh no, I think this goes right in.
This goes right in with the rabbit hole.
But I'm saying,
hang on, I got a window for
black? Was that black on black? Or was it white on black?
It's actually, I would say, depending on the neighborhood, I would say a vast majority of them definitely in the inner city. I would say it was definitely more black on black crime if it was even investigated, which is the other part that the more I looked. Because that was the other part of the discussion him and I had about this is, you always see, oh yeah, the white guy gets arrested and well, here's the other problem. A lot of these murders in Chicago, especially, not only are they not investigated, they never find the shooter. They never prosecute the shooter. It's rare that there are so many murders that they rarely solve murders in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah. Well, think about it.
The resources. They've got to be strained as can be with the amount
700 murders. 700 murders in a town in 365 days. Think about that. That's over 2 people dead per day. Mm-hmm. Every day. And there's every day in Chicago.
20, 30, 40 guys, people.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know. You should wear 2 masks for the disease.
Well, that should stop it all.
99.7% survivability rate for anybody less than 60.
Should it be careful?
And Dolly Parton changed the lyrics to Jolene to convince you to go get a vaccine.
Oh Lord!
Oh, I did hear that.
Oh, don't worry about anything.
I won't watch it.
Happening in the world.
I can't.
Don't worry about it because there's a third wave of coronavirus coming. So we need you to double mask up, take your swab up the ass, and thoroughly realize that you're going to be stuck at home for the rest of your fucking life. because you're willfully willing to sit back and let somebody else tell you how to live.
So
Well, yeah, and it's in all aspects. I mean, it's it's with all of this. I mean, I think that's why, quite frankly, I didn't even know until someone posted it on. This is how little mainstream media I've been watching. I knew little to nothing about the shooting in Colorado yesterday until probably today.
Same. I'll tell you this much: Joe Biden was in Columbus, Ohio today.
What?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Biden was at the as far as the side, because I have two monitors.
Did he stick to one floor buildings?
I have no idea. We have two monitors.
Sorry.
In our command center, we have multiple screens on the wall, and for our security team, there's two that constantly have news on. And let me just say this much about it: it's always opposing news channels for the most part.
That's all right.
Right?
That's all right.
And neither one of them have sound because it's the same bullshit out of both of them. Just this
That's
way
the
or
only
that.
way you should watch the news.
It's just this way or that. But all I can tell you is Biden was in Columbus to the point where one of the guys in the group's like, he's in Ohio? And they panned back from him, and the sign behind him said the Ohio State and the James. You can see the JA. So the James. So he was at Ohio State Medical. He was at the Ohio State campus.
Yeah.
Well,
that's how much I've given
No clue.
up. I've given up on watching the media, the news, because somebody said free for all. Now it's that time, kids. I'm going to go free. Is it just me, or did we stop hearing all about coronavirus on a heavy dose of 24-hour coverage somewhere around January? It slowly trickled down to where if you are watching a screen of mainstream media for any length of time, the cycle that they do, there might be a minute or two in that entire hour, 2 hour, 3 hour cycle that actually talks about coronavirus. Everything else is, as you stated, the 7 mass shootings. It has gone from coronavirus is going to kill you if you don't listen to us to guns are going to kill you if you don't let us take them or do what we're going to do with them.
Oh, well, of course. But you think about it, that which makes perfect sense, right? I mean, look at how many bills. I mean, and I don't care how you feel about guns. I'm sure the 8 people watching on here are probably fairly gun friendly. I'm going to assume. But if you're not watching this later, or you're watching this later, and you're not a gun person, that's fine, because guess what? As gun people, we're okay with you not being okay with guns. It's okay.
I think I know a lot of gun people that are like, preferably you don't have a gun if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Preferably. But if you, again, if you're going to, well, let's go back to a little bit further when we started. I want you to read the Constitution, and then I want you to read some of those, type in guns at usgov.com, type in guns, and then I want you to read some of those bills. And you tell me that the people who took an oath to defend that Constitution are not now just trying to tear it to shreds and basically have forgotten every word in it.
So I'm gonna interject there for a second.
Ah.
In regards to this one specifically,
Yes.
the second one, you got the first one. Everybody knows what that one's about. Well, they don't, because there's a whole lot more than freedom of speech.
It doesn't seem like it's very much free.
There's a lot
anyway.
more to that first one than just the freedom of speech. But in regards to this one, read the Constitution so you understand this. Go back and read the Federalist Papers like Cosper's saying. But number 2, make sure you, look up this word right here. That word is infringed. Check that word. Look at the definition of it. And then obviously it's going to probably take you to a Wikipedia page and read their definition on Wikipedia of that word. Then go back and look at 52's definition of that word. Go back to like 1902's definition of that word. Go back to like 1892's definition of that word. Look at that word right there. Infringe. Look at that word. And then go read the plethora of bills that are in there. And by keeping the definition of the word infringed in your mind, read what they're saying they should do. Because this word right here, don't worry about the entirety of this or the comma that sits right there. Don't worry about that. That word right there, every single time they say anything about doing this against the people, we the people, and their gun rights, is one of these.
Well, and not only that, but that same guy that I'm not a fan. He is my president currently, but the fact that and again, if you've read the Constitution, and it's fine if you haven't gotten through the Federalist Papers, if you've read the Constitution, think about the fact of what that guy who is president now said, that he may, as president, one man who is only elected by, and currently probably only he may represent us all, but was not elected by us all. He has basically said that he is considering one man's opinion, basically, using executive order for gun control. That word that Jacob just showed you, if that's not the definition of infringed, I don't. When one man goes against everything in the Constitution, skips the checks and balances, skips legislation, one man decides he's going to decide what's good for all of us. That's some bullshit.
You know damn full and well that the answer to that is going to be, well, they control all of it anyway, so he wouldn't need.
Well, and
there is no checks and balances. He controls it all.
That's a good point. Then he should be able to do it the right way, huh?
Correct. I agree.
Should be able to, and then hopefully, if he does it the wrong way, at least our Supreme Court may have some say in that.
Yeah, and it better go. And I mean, it's it people again. You have to take a step back and look what's going on and look at especially coming from we're the three faces you see right now are like right now the poster child for evil.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, my phone agreed.
I'm not lying, dude.
I got a ding on that one.
I said the word liberty. I said the word liberty at work today, and somebody pointed out that I am extremely political.
Yeah.
The word liberty.
Yeah, and think about that. I mean, just take a step back and think. And again, no matter how you feel politically, just take a step back and look at the things that are trying to be, passed in legislation. And the things that our government is trying to do, and you have to take a broader mind. You have to let your prejudices, you have to let your what the media's told you to think, you have to let that all go for a minute and look and see is what they're doing right. I mean, in the end, we all know right and wrong. I mean, we do. We do. I mean. There's people that might have an effed up view of that, but we know right and wrong, and the things happening, they're just wrong. No matter how you think you can justify them, they're wrong.
You have to look at it perspectively. To a person who's not a gun person in any way, shape, or form, to a person who has willfully sat back and let the government tell them what to do for decades, if not their entire life, for a person who's like, you know what, I'm just too busy to concern myself with politics. I have to do this and this and this and this and this. they've allowed themselves to get so deep in this rat race. And I will leave you on this, ladies and gentlemen of our crowd. We can talk about this next Tuesday. I want to let you know something. Do you remember, guys? Do you remember when we did that like, it's like, what was it, 7 weeks, 6 weeks that we went every week? We said, 3 seconds of cognitive thought.
Oh, yeah.
3 minutes of there. Do you realize that in this world right now, that is the only things you actually need? You don't need the job. You don't need the paycheck. You don't need the stuff you have. I don't need the camera. I don't need the ring light. I don't need the internet. I don't need the TV. All I need is food, water, shelter, cognitive thought, and the ability to take care of mine.
Fair.
That's it. That's all I need. So there are so many people on this planet that have willfully decided that their sole focus is so deeply ingrained in the rat race, their own personal bubble, that all these things that these, let's call it what it is, elitists have decided they're going to do on the other end of this, the spectrum. They're basically running a business, and you're the shit bot. You are the shit pile at the bottom of the cage. The birds are shitting above you, and you're just living in their filth because they're making decisions. You're not paying attention. The next thing you know, you try to go to a gun store, and you're told because you had a traffic ticket when you were 16 years old, you're no longer allowed to own guns. You'll never be allowed.
Can't you use one of these on birds?
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Right.
Here we go.
And that's the 2-minute warning right there. We're 2 past. But I will ask you this, and I think I've asked it in almost every show. Where's your fucking line?
Yeah.
If Joe Biden with a pin stroke decides that you can't own guns anymore, or you can't own that kind of gun or this kind of gun,
Ooh.
I'm going to let you know. I'm going to give you some more homework, guys. Don't worry about just looking at the bills. Don't worry about that. Go read their definition of assault weapon. It's not a full auto. It's not a full fucking semi-auto. They're going for anything that does bang, bang by 2 trigger pulls without you having to do something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Without you having to reload, without you having to physically do something else to burn more time.
Well, we only need muskets.
Oh boy!
They're going.
And all we need is a
Doctor,
fucking quill and inkwells. Fuck the internet. Fuck everything else.
Neither one of you can disagree with this statement. Bet your ass. They take the semi-automatics, they take the pistols, they take the freaking rifles, they take anything that's semi-automatic with any more than 10 or 30 rounds. They give us our shit down to 10 rounds. 2 years later, there'll be 100 more mass shootings, and they'll take the 10 to 5. They'll take the 5 to 1 because people will willfully just sit there and say, well, they know better than me. And these are the idiots who say it's a 30-round clip with a freaking 100 rounds through a ghost gun.
So true.
You're literally allowing these people to dictate your fucking life. And then you're going to cry foul when a criminal walks through your front door, steals all of your shit that you have been so hyper-focused on for the entire life.
Or when your grandfather gets arrested because he shoots the guy coming in his house and gets like 15, 20 years in prison.
Yeah, because he owns an illegal gun now.
What was it? I mean, again, we're so deep into these.
5 minutes over.
We're way over.
What was the shooting that it was a cop that shot I think it was a black female, and the mother's like that he shouldn't have shot her, and I heard that she actually shot him first. He was shooting back in self-defense.
I don't know. I did not hear that one.
No, there's so many anymore.
Yeah, I heard there was a shooting. It's been a few weeks, I think. But, like, the girl shot the cop first, and the cop shot back and killed her. And the mother got on the news and said that, it was wrong. They shouldn't have shot her.
Well, Biden said you should shoot him in the leg.
Uh,
Biden has said take a shotgun
that,
put it
no.
by the door and blow him through blow the shotgun through the door. I mean,
Okay.
come on, guys. Really, seriously, if you watch our show, you watch the last 15, take this into consideration. Educate yourself.
mm-hmm.
Just educate yourself, because the joke of living in the Matrix, that's a joke. This is your reality, and I'm sorry, but it is nothing like you've ever seen before. And if you're not willing to stand up, if you're not willing to stand up and fight against the direct assault on your civil liberties and your ability to protect yourself, or even speak your mind outside of the collective idea that they have brainwashed people with, I've taken the pill to stop equating all of our shit as socialism bad, communism bad, because that's not what we're in. We're literally in an assault to take all the ability that we have as individuals to protect ourselves against anyone. And when I say anyone, I mean people below us, as in criminal elements, and people above us, as in legalized criminal elements.
Yeah, well, and that's something we should get into next week in this segment. Where getting rid of guns, how that affects the other amendments. But
Right.
We'll get into that next week.
Yep.
Right. And on that, everybody, thank you for watching. If you like the segments, you didn't like the segmented show, send us a message. Heartland Defenders Media.
Yeah,
At
and you
gmail.com.
can get us, and you can get us through the website, through the
Yep.
comment, and now you can message me through the new Heartland page as well.
So, thank you two for your time tonight.
Thank you.
As always, every week. Thank everybody for watching again.
Hey, remember,
Uh-oh.
when shit hits the fan, find the quiet ones.
Ah,
We
you
know
know.
way out.
Good. That means they won't come find me.
Me neither.
Thank everybody for watching. Again, be safe. Have a good week. And keep yourself self-educated, because the only way to stand up, is to know when you need to. Have a good week, and see you next Tuesday.